Your limitation is only your imagination. A very good morning to one and all. I'm Ms. Sawant. Welcome you all on this motivational ride. Motivation. It is an important part of human psychology. It arouses a person to act towards a desired goal. It is a driving force which promotes action. Goals give you direction to focus on. One that's measurable and has an endpoint. This can help you to stay motivated. Choose goals that interest you. You are much more likely to stay motivated if you are working towards something that you genuinely want to do or achieve, rather than what other people want from you. There are two desiring factors of motivation. A. Fundamental needs such as food, clothes, shelter, etc. B. Ego satisfaction including self-esteem, recognition from others, opportunities for achievements, self-development and self-actualization, which act as powerful though unconscious motivator of behavior. I am very glad to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Nitin Nair. He is an accomplished executive coach, corporate trainer and a mentor. He has more than 13 years of experience in coaching and training people to develop themselves in the best professional executives. He has a very unique style of coaching and explaining success strategies from statistical data and information. He was also chosen as India's first movie jockey. He has excelled by being topper of his institute in MBA. He has a popular YouTube channel named Coach Nitin. His tagline is, "You tried your way, now try mine." Let's know more about 6-inch game. With no further ado, I request Mr. Nair to begin with the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. I've always loved to greet people with Namaste, not just to prove my inclination towards the Indian culture, but because of its meaning. And of course, now the entire world would love to switch to this no contact greeting. Namaste means the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Some of you must be thinking, one more person who is trying to teach philosophy and must have already anticipated 30 minutes of painful rehearsed gyan being flown. Well, I would say don't worry. I will make sure to make this session as interesting as possible. And rest assured, I don't understand philosophy much. When I came to know about this great opportunity to talk to all of you, address all of you, I was quite excited. And I thought of many topics that I could speak on. But I just had 30 minutes. And as always, I wanted to make a difference in your life, add some value in your life, give you the worth of your attention and time. With the internet being around, every topic is just a click away. There are books and certifications for almost everything under the sun. Schools, colleges, society teaches us a lot of things. But then I realized that some very simple yet extremely important things are not paid much attention. For example, we are taught how to speak, but not how to listen. We are taught how to act, but not how to think. Can you imagine telling your parents, "I'm going for thinking classes today"? Or can you tell your friend that I can't come out today because I'm busy? I have to think. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, trust me, no matter how ridiculous this might sound, there should be thinking classes, and you should spend quality time thinking. Let me narrate some beautiful lines I read somewhere. Every game of life is played on a 6-inch ground between your ears. We don't live in huts, flats, or bungalows, but in our minds, which is an unlimited space. Life is beautiful when things are uncluttered here. In next 30 minutes, my objective will be to clear your 6-inch ground. and make sure you're motivated to achieve anything beyond all odds. So in next 30 minutes, what can you expect? In next 30 minutes, you will understand, number one, what are thoughts? Number two, how are thoughts formed? Number three, why are thoughts important? And number four, tips to use your thoughts to achieve absolutely anything you want. I repeat, this is very important. Number one, what are thoughts? Number two, how are thoughts formed? Number three, why are thoughts important? And number four, tips to use your thoughts to achieve absolutely anything you want. We have some time limitations, and hence I will not be able to go in depth of each and every topic. However, you need not worry. Whichever topics I feel you need to know more, I will give some video references, which you can watch whenever you have time. So before we start this session, I will request you to do two things. And these two things are extremely important if you want to utilize the knowledge that you will gain during these 30 minutes, or maybe 28 minutes or 27 minutes from now. Knowledge is not power. Surprised? Application of that knowledge is. To make sure you can use these learnings from this session, please do the below things. Number one, please go to your YouTube channel on your phone or your laptop and type Coach Nitin. Please hit subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want. I'll tell you why is it important. Just in case you're using the same phone or laptop, then make a note of this. It is COACH, Coach Nitin, Nitin. Why am I asking you to subscribe? Because I'm going to give you some video references. As I mentioned earlier, we just have 30 minutes and there is too much to speak. Rest of the information are there in my videos. Hope you have done it. If you haven't, please do it. Number two, please keep a digital device or a pen and paper handy to make notes. It is always advisable to revise or relook at your learnings within 24 hours. It helps, trust me. So COACH, Coach Nitin, Nitin on YouTube channel, and please keep a pen and paper handy to make notes. I hope you have completed the above two tasks. So shall we start? Great. So number one, what is a thought? According to the dictionary, it is an idea or opinion produced by thinking. Let's get to understand it scientifically. Let's understand what is happening when we are thinking. Let's say when you're watching something, a movie or a scene or web series, that visual input is processed by the sensory cells in your eyes and they give signals to neurons. Neurons are essentially your brain cells. Those neurons create an activity pattern along with other neurons, and that is called a thought. To simplify it further, our brain cells, which are called neurons, create an activity pattern which is the result of some other stimulus. And that is called thinking. Hope you have understood this. And trust me, even if you haven't, it doesn't make much of a difference. We don't understand electricity, but we still use it, right? By the way, thoughts can also be measured. So I hope this clears out our first point as to what is a thought. Now coming to point number two. How are thoughts formed? Very important. First and foremost, please understand and accept that we are the creators of our thoughts. But what are the raw materials for this creation? Information. Information is one of the major contributors to this. Whatever you see, feel, hear, in short, whatever you put inside your brain through your senses creates your thoughts. Information that could be through movies, web series, news, people, songs. Imagine your brain to be your hard disk. I'm sure most of you must have seen it. So if you have a high definition content or HD content in that hard disk, you will be able to see high definition visuals. If you have stored 4K content, you will be able to see 4K visuals. If you intake too much comedy, you will see humor in most of the situations. If you watch too much violence, your mind will capture more of violent situations. The quality of information decides the quality of thoughts you produce. Number 3, why are thoughts important? So we saw what are thoughts, we saw how are they formed, and now let's see why are they important. I'm sure all of you must have heard thoughts become things. Words by great Gautam Buddha, the enlightened one. How does this work? Or does it even work? In his book, Hidden Messages in Water, Dr. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese author, proved with his experiments how good thoughts and intentions can change physical molecular structure of water. This experiment proved that when water is exposed to positive emotions like love and gratitude, it forms beautiful crystals. And when water is exposed to negative emotions like anger and hatred, it turns out into a deformed, ugly structure. Thoughts have frequencies that can be measured. Let's look at it scientifically. All matter is made up of 99% space and 1% protons, neurons, and electrons. These protons, neurons, and electrons are made up of quarks, and quarks are nothing but vibrations. The point that I'm trying to put across is everything in this universe is made up of the same thing. It just has different forms. So whatever level of frequency your thoughts are, you will attract those things which match your frequency. Everything in this universe is vibrating at a certain frequency. Your thoughts and most importantly, your feelings need to match those frequencies for you to achieve that. I'm sure you must have watched or heard about Dahi Handi, a very common team sport played during the Hindu festival Gokulashtami, also known as Krishna Janmashtami. In this sport, a group of men form a human pyramid to reach the pot of curd which is placed on a higher altitude. Imagine success, happiness, love, money to be that pot which is right here. Everything you want is right there. All you need to do is match the level of that pot to get it. Another example is radio. There are multiple programs live on that, but you will only listen to it if you tune into that frequency. Wayne Dyer, who was a great American author and a motivational speaker, said, "Abundance is not something you acquire. It is something you tune into." It's the base of so-called law of attraction. To know more, please make a note of these 2 videos, which is there on my channel. Number 1, does attitude of gratitude work? And number 2, law of attraction. Trust me, it's beyond the basics of ask, believe, and receive, if you know what I mean. Now the last part, the most important one, tips to use your thoughts to achieve absolutely anything in life. As I said, application of knowledge is power. So what are the tips? Number 1, decide what you want. Do not dream based on your or someone else's current or past experiences. I repeat, do not dream based on your or someone else's current or past experiences. Experiences tell you about one outcome of a situation. It doesn't say that there aren't other possibilities. My experience with a situation or a place will be completely different from yours. There are so many thoughts that have been floating around this world, and us humans have been following it without questioning it. For example, there's this thought or belief that success belongs to those who have high IQ, good financial background, good contacts. There's another one. You need to work extremely hard to earn money. Another classic one, I'm sure you must have heard it. Oh, you scored just 60% in an SSC and you want to become a scientist? Who made these statements? Who made these rules and why? I was always an average student. I had major difficulty in writing and remembering spellings. I had many symptoms of the so-called dyslexia. And to add a cherry on the cake, I had an accident when I was around 10 years old where I hit my head and had a major blood clot. According to the doctors and my parents, it's a miracle that I'm still alive. I was under medication for almost 3 years. I was not allowed to take any kind of mental stress. Somehow, I managed to complete my 10th standard, scored a decent 60% in my 12th. And after that, my graduation, I enrolled for my master's. Honestly, because I didn't know what else to do. Everybody was doing MBA, so I did that too. I completed my first semester and I had to quit because of some circumstances. After a year, I enrolled in another training program and I didn't complete that as well. And all of this was happening with my own hard-earned money. I was working when I did this. One day, I was just pondering about why is that I'm such a loser? Why am I not just losing my money, but also my time and respect in the eyes of my loved ones and society, of course? And to add to that frustration was my history of learning disability. I was so furious that day and I wanted to do something extreme, something crazy, and I did it. That day, I did something that no sane person will ever do. I enrolled for another MBA program with another institute. And I made a promise to myself that I will not just complete it, but also score well. Of course, people around me were completely against this, as I had proved myself a failure twice. And here I was investing 2 lakhs and 2 years of my life for the third time. Guess what? I just didn't complete the masters. I didn't even just score well. I topped my college. And I still believe I do not have a very high IQ. I just have faith, dedication, and passion. Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, founder of Virgin Records, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Mobile, and writer of several books, was a high school dropout. Milton Hershey received only 4th grade education and found Hershey Chocolate Company. The famous Albert Einstein dropped out of school at the age of 15. Sachin Tendulkar, Deepika Padukone, Mary Kom, many such examples defy the odds. I'm not trying to say that education is not important. Neither am I against academically brilliant people. It's awesome to score well. All I want to say is that get educated on the topic you love. Get knowledge on the topic you think you can excel and contribute to the society. Let not your test results decide your future or your outlook. One day, I was going to my office and a 3-year-old sweet girl asked me, "Where are you going?" I said, "Office." She asked another question with an innocent face. "Why do you go to office?" And I was just about to say, "How will I get money if I don't go to work?" But I stopped and said, "Because I love going to office and work." If you go to work for money, then it's really sad because money should be a byproduct of doing what you love doing. If you're not doing what you love, you are surviving, not living. Don't do something because everybody is doing that. Even when we watch a video on YouTube, we prefer the most watched video. That's how the algorithms work. Can you imagine that even your thoughts are not yours, but your parents' or society's thoughts? Next line, which I'm going to say, is very important. If you can understand and apply this, you will surprise yourself with your achievements. When you know your situations are changing your thoughts, change your thoughts to change your situation. I repeat, when you know your situations are changing your thoughts, change your thoughts to change your situation. I love this statement in Hindi. मन की स्थिति बदलो, जीवन की परिस्थिति अपने आप बदल जाएगी. Tip number 2, decide why you want. You decided what you want, now why you want. Now you must be wondering, how does that matter? Now let's say I want money to buy a luxurious house, buy a diamond necklace, or help my cousin to pay his fees. I want money, as simple as that. How can the reason affect my achievement? One of the important prerequisites in achieving anything is belief. If you want something, you need to believe that you deserve it. And that's where the problem is. Let me give you an example. If I ask you to have a goal of buying a two-wheeler, a bike, in next 60 days, you might get excited and many of you will believe that you will achieve this. But if I tell you to have a goal of buying a four-wheeler, a car, in next 60 days, most of you will not believe it. Because in your head, two-wheelers are for 1 lakh and four-wheeler is for 7 lakhs. The problem is not with the universe, because it does not differentiate between the thought of 1 lakh or 7 lakhs, but you do. Because subconsciously you believe you don't deserve 7 lakhs. Now imagine another situation. You still need 7 lakhs, but this time to save the life of your friend or your brother. Trust me, your power of attracting that money will increase many folds. Because in your subconscious mind, you justify getting that money. Always have this thought of giving something back to the world in return of your goal. It could be money or service, but always have a noble cause attached to your goal. And you will always have a divine force working with you. Try it. Tip number 3, go on a positive information diet. Many of you must have tried to change your thoughts, control it, try different methodologies, and must have failed. Do you know why do we fail? Let's say I'm preparing tea. I'm sure most of you must know the recipe, even who did not must have learned during the lockdown. So I decide to make a hot cup of tea for myself, and I follow the simple common recipe of tea. I take a cup of orange juice, add some salt and green chili, and boil it in a tea pan for 10 minutes. After that, I add some milk and strain it and put it in a beautiful cup and sip it. What do you think will happen? High chances of me getting an award of the worst tea ever made till date, right? So later I realized my mistake and add some tea powder and sugar and also some more orange juice, salt and green chili. And again boil it. What will happen? High chances of I breaking my record of worst tea ever. This story might sound stupid and unrealistic, but trust me, this is exactly what we all do when it comes to changing our thoughts. The right thing would have been for me to make sure what ingredients I put in my tea pan. Your tea pan represents your mind, and the ingredients represent what you consume from the world through your senses. You consume violence, adultery, hatred, anger, revenge, poverty, apathy. through news, movies, web series, gossiping, and most importantly, stereotype advisors. And then you think adding some tea powder of meditation and sugar of forced positive thoughts will give you a perfect tea of life. Now, how is that possible, my friends? Change your input to change your output. Very important. So let's quickly summarize this session. We started with what are thoughts. Thoughts are a pattern of activity created by brain cells. Then we saw how our thoughts formed. We saw that thoughts are formed by information we put inside our brain. Then we learned why are thoughts important? Because everything in this world is vibration, and we need to match that vibration to achieve things what we want. And finally, point number 4 was tips, and we looked at 3 tips. Tip number 1, decide what you want irrespective of your present condition. Number 2, decide why you want it, because a noble cause will always add some divine force. And number 3, go on a positive information diet. Hope you will create some time to ponder on the points I mentioned today. I repeat, knowledge is not power, application of knowledge is. Do comment on my YouTube channel if I was able to add some value in your life. Also, feel free to ask questions in the comment section of my YouTube channel. I will make sure to reply to them. Lastly, I would like to say your past doesn't decide your future. Your present does. This is the time to change. मन की स्थिति बदलो, जीवन की परिस्थिति अपने आप बदल जाएगी. You tried your way, now try mine. Thank you.
It was an excellent seminar. Thank you, Mr. Nair, for encouraging and motivating us. Surely your way is different. Thanks a lot.